Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I hope you're with me. It took me a while to understand how to get it started. I'm here, so I think it's possible for you to write in, if I understand. Let's see. How can this be done? In any case, I'll start doing a reading as if I was doing a reading, if I were doing a reading for today, because I might have screwed up and I might have not done anything right. So in any case, if you can't interact, let's see if I could give you a bonus, and the next time I do this, I'll try to understand better, because there's a window here where I should be getting some questions, I believe. But in any case, all right, let me first do a reading. Unless I get some interaction, I'll first do a reading for today, Sunday the 29th. And I put out the monthlies, so that's a different thing. How will the end of May be? Right, that is the question. How will our end of May be? I'm going to first see if the signs come out. Let's see. Okay, I have here water signs. All right, end of May. For some reason, I feel a general happiness among the water signs, and it's a loaded statement, of course. They have gone through the mill, as they say in English, as you say in English, and you've had a lot of difficulties, keeping persons at bay, at a distance, and then coming and drawing in and drawing out, and drawing in and drawing out. And I still see, for a couple of the water signs, I still see that flowing movement. And, it's graced, at least these 5 cards of the Voodoo Tarot, or New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, are graced with the entrance of the stars. And, of course, we know what the stars are all about, and the stars are really a guidance, first and foremost. And when we're coming around to the end of May, that is a good thing to have, right before you move into June. It seems that, solstice is coming up, and everyone has this idea of, okay, I'm going to make some resolutions that I didn't make at the beginning of the year. Okay, I'm going to, try something new. I won't eat chocolate anymore. I won't eat sweets anymore. I'm going to do an exercise regime, And what I'm seeing here, there's a lot of happiness, Even if it's raining outside, there's a lot of happiness, and it's a good thing. But there's one aspect of these cards, and I'll go over that as I usually do for the water signs I'm looking at now. There's one side here to these 5 cards, water signs, that it's an attitude that you have. Of course, it's a generalized reading. 3 elements, the element of water covers 3 signs, but I'm seeing here that you're, instead of going in and approaching things, what I'm seeing you do is waiting, as if you're expecting people to come to you. And it's interesting to see, as if you have paid your dues. This is your attitude. You have paid your dues, and you are owed something. But, I'd like to invite you to take a look, because there's this baleine, there's the whale right next to this maman Brigitte, and it talks about needing to go into the lion's mouth. And I know it's a whale, but, in the fable of Pinocchio, the whale has a certain meaning, and it really does amount to taking a risk in order for you to make a jump ahead. Let me take these other cards and see. And I'll get around. And as I mix these cards, I do want to put a shout out there for all the readers that may be watching, especially those of you, a couple of you who have sent me, you've referred me, you referenced me with your clients for the work I do, for the soul work I do. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, this is, these are the initiatory tarot of the Golden Dawn that I'm adding to the Voodoo Tarot. It's water signs. again, I'm getting another celebration, you know, as if you're celebrating something around the end of this month. Around the end of this month, these 3 days, 3, 4, 29, 30, 31, 3 days, you're celebrating actually the end of a heavy burden, really a heavy burden, and that's out, you know, that's on its way out. But as well, many of us, I'm talking about us, saying everyone, I'm not a water sign, but many of us will be celebrating the beginning of a new love or a new contract or a new offer, right? And it's Mama Brigitte, it's right under Mama Brigitte, and that tells me that you're sitting back waiting for that offer to come in. You've put out your feelers, your CV, you're waiting for that to come in. News on that. Now, you know, I have a sign of generosity here, as if you invested to have a return. And this could also be Maman Brigitte sitting there saying, okay, now it's my turn, okay? However, it's not as much, it's not really that you're expecting, I gave 5, so I want 5. No, that's not the case. What it is that you're thinking, I gave 5, but I want 10, not for myself, but for other people. My initiative was meant to favor the higher good of all. You know, you have this attitude. These are the water signs. And you have this attitude of, I want myself, I want me, you know, your water signs are thinking, I want this to be for the betterment of everyone. So my plan, my project that I submitted had a higher objective. And that's why you're waiting for a greater return than your initial investment. Interesting that is. And celebrate you will, okay? I'm going to take the Sibila on a couple of these cards. Notably this, well, first of all, this burden, this 10 of Swords, and see what happens if we illuminate it, see what comes up. Next time I do this, I'm going to have someone right next to me helping me out. Promised. Okay, now, I always used to say when I gave seminars, years ago when I started giving seminars, and it was always so embarrassing. You have your things ready and your PowerPoint and everything ready. And as I started, it was always a technical problem, and the technicians would put the light in this, the other thing, something wouldn't work, and I'd start interacting with the crowd. I'd said, well, plan A was to give you this, but plan B was to jump on the table and start dancing. And, well, I don't think you'd see anything except my feet, so that's not a plan. I'm going ahead with the reading. Water signs. This is for water signs. I'll get around to everyone. So I'm going to the 10 of Swords. Well, the burdens. What were the burdens? Okay, I keep getting this doctor, el dottore, and I say that was a caretaker. It's really a caregiver today, and it's funny how words change because of double meanings, but this is also a thinker, an intellect, so they could be two professionals, but there is secrecy involved here. It was a plan that you kept under wraps, and it finally saw the light, and it was very, very difficult to prepare. And it was as if you took care of that project, plan, as if it were a baby, your baby coming to see the light, And it has to do, this big plan, the bigger the plan, the more scientific it is, I'm getting. The larger the plan, the more important, the wider extension that it has, the more scientific in nature it has. So I'll give you an example. You are creating a patent for a way to purify water or filter water, and that will benefit the masses potentially in certain areas of the world at a large scale, and that has a certain amount of scientific background to it. Okay, so that's the type of thing. Or, for example, if it has to do with people, immigrant children, orphan immigrant children that are victims in these large mass movements of people, this displaced people. And the scientist involved will have something to do with furnishing or supplying an amount of food that can be created for large numbers that will be healthy. And there's a certain amount of scientific background involved, or that the children will need care because they have lost their parents, and that may bring them in a difficult situation, not emotionally, but emotionally is linked to nutrition, all different kinds. It could be even cosmetics, but that is a long plan that has seen the light. Water signs. Now I'm going to there's the 5 of Swords here, and even if you just look at that card, it gives you a little cause for concern. You think, oh, what an ugly card, I see black. Every time I see black and red, blood and death, that's what you think. But someone here is being sacrificed, and it's almost like a crucifixion. Let me take that. And what do we have on top is you're sacrificing. You have sacrificed your time. Because what I have here is the fortune. Let me see if I can get that. Fortuna, pensiero, thought, and sacerdote, the priest. So you have, Fortuna says it all in terms of your the reaction that others will have of your plan. And it's telling me that it was a plan that was conceived in solitude, more or less, even if you had a unit of study behind you or a group of people that worked with you. It was conceived locally, very small group. It was your idea. Okay? And you're still thinking of tweaking the plans because now after you've handed it in that there's something that could have been changed. There's something that could have been better. Okay. Now, I believe I have an hour. Let me just round this up and then I'll go to every sign, to each element. But there's something here that I want to look at. There is the, there's the baleine, really, the mouth of the whale. Mouth of the whale. And yes, it does. It talks about a tower situation. And it's not only fear. There are risks involved, okay? And there are risks involved. You had a backer. There was a backer to your plans, to your work, to your project, someone who financed you, someone who was even only of moral support, with perhaps a little finance, relatives that could have given you some money. But in the long run, they're telling me that it will be successful, really interesting. And what I'll do is cast some runes and move on. I hope I don't lose you, my friends. Let's see. Let's see. I have. Yes, what they're telling me is this plan was drawn up to the detriment of a couple. Your loved one suffered because you spent so many hours on that plan and you saw each other very little. But you knew that it was all right. You knew that you would not lose their love. There was a certain amount of protection there. And you have blessed with runes of, for success and something coming back to you in return. You will make a name for yourself. You're going to make a name for yourself with this effort. And what it says to me, these runes, are that it has been a long time. It was probably a dream since your childhood, something that I will make my mark on, wait, I have to put some water on my hair. I will make my mark in the world. I will save the children, or I will, feed the masses, you're thinking. Something like that. And it will, the Urus is telling me that will occur. And you have been long in waiting. All right, water signs. Let me go on, see what I can do without dancing on the table. I can't dance on the table. Too much noise. My feet will burn. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. You can flame me all you want for this technical difficulty. We'll see if anybody comes up with a little aid. All right, I'm going to, let's see. Let's see what comes up. We've done the water. Let's just go around to, I'm going to see the predominance of the cards and then name my game, okay? Very warm in Rome, very, very warm, not to say hot weather. unseasonably. It should be a little cooler, but there's a little breeze here. Let's see what comes up. So these are the fire signs. These are the fire signs. Fellow fire signs. Here too we have celebration. Allez, we have celebration. We have a lot of posturing as well. You know, posturing. Let me try this. Let me try that. Changing your footing to see if that works. Let me see if, you know. That's posturing. That's trying out. That's moving a foot to see if this side, this flank, this face of mine will go well in that context. Then let me shift something. It's like the cards. You have a card reading, you turn the card around and the reading changes. So that's what tarot is all about, when you see what is coming up and there's something you don't like. Well, let's see, if I don't concentrate on that, what happens? Here for you fire signs, I'm seeing the celebration has come out again, but I don't see you fire signs. This is a general reading, general reading. I don't see you offering your true nature to the people around you. The true nature that you're offering is the passion. That's true. And it's almost as if that fire is burning ahead of you and behind you, so much so that people don't really see you. They see the fire, they see the passion, and they're very highly motivated. I mean, you are motivating, really. I would like to use that word again, masses. But there's something secretive in the way you're going about it, because deep down inside, you're sort of fearful that it's not going to work. You know, your plan is not going to work. And what you're doing is sort of guarding it. And then you're thinking, okay, if plans go as they should, as I hope, I'm going to have a hell of a party, inviting all my friends, relatives, till the wee hours of the night, and just make everybody along happy with me. Now, there's a very warlike nature in the way you go. Well, fire is fire. But in this period, these last 3 days, there's a very warlike nature in the way you face people as well, and initiatives. For example, I mean, you know, warlike in this sense. You have a deadline, all right? The deadline is the end of the month, 31st, and you have to hand in a report, or you have to hand in, you know, if you're a manager in customer service, you have to hand in a report in the last whatever. Now, you save things for last. The last 3 days are good enough. There's a Sunday today. Let me do it today. And you face it with a passion, as if you have your sword in hand, you have your pistol, and you're ready to beat, you know, the computer out, and ta, 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 one down, another down, that one down, until you get to the end. And then you think, I won the battle with myself. You know, it's as if it's a personal battle. And it's a personal, you know, waging of the battle. You know, it's something that you do personally. And what I'm seeing the water signs do is announcing things, announcing that this will happen. Why? So they have the obligation. It's always very military based, it seems, you know. Let me do this so that I'll remind myself that, you know, and it's interesting to see. They're like little soldiers that really want the reward, though. You play hard when you work hard. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm seeing. But once again, I have to repeat, there's that posturing and not showing people what really you are doing behind the scenes, because you're almost afraid it won't go through. You're almost afraid it won't go through. Let's see. That's a fear, right? It is a fear. It comes out. Devils come out under the posturing. It is a fear. And there are many fire signs. There are many swords here. And it tells me that you're fearful of what you would let down your loved ones if it doesn't go through. You're fearful that you're not living up to your own image. You're fearful that all this time that you thought you were the one that could bring forth that plan, and you're not good enough. And so you think that is, oh, and my God, that's taught me that I cannot know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm blinded to my own path, you know, and this is a big, it's a big fear that you have, and that's why you're closed in all of this. But the opposite end to the spectrum, and that is that you're ready to have a celebration should that go through. It's sort of fear that's characterizing these last 3 days of May, that as time goes up by, well, maybe that's a no, you know, nobody's contacting me, maybe that's a no, you know, or maybe they don't want me anymore, or maybe, okay? And what you really are, warlike in nature, is that you want, look at these two, all right? This is a spiritual card, and this is the Queen of Swords. And they are both very, very warlike going out. And, you know, it's because you want the truth. Just tell me, I'm not good enough, okay, I'll just, you know, pack my bags, I'll do something else, because I've got plans, ladies and gents, you know? And it's interesting. It's interesting to see. What's the fears? I know it's the fears. Yes, the fears that someone else will take that place, Nemika. Someone else will, you know, get your place, that one that you really, it's about talking about work. It's about activity, you know, your livelihood this is. And instead, you know, you're already, you're already celebrating in other realms, celebrating in your emotional life. And because you feel like your load is lightened already, but deep down inside there's that fear that someone else will be taking your place. And the Superbia talks about ego. You know, it does talk about ego. Don't let your ego ruin you, fire signs. All right, let me take the runes for this, the runes, and then I'll move on. Okay, there's a rune that just fell out here. Here. Here's pointing to all the runes. All the runes, let's turn them around. Oh, Lord, take me back. I want to ride on Geronimo's Cadillac. Look at that. Okay, we have 1, 3, 2, 1. A pyramid and the direction. There are 3, Rido, Kinuts, and Ing are just telling you, please have faith. Don't walk away. Don't self-sabotage. Keep the faith, because what's you're coming up, you have to talk to other people that will motivate you into keeping your faith, and will sort of act as a mirror to you and saying, yes, you're the right one. Don't self-sabotage. You need to, don't draw within and, you know, forget that you are the person for the job, for that plan, for whatever that is. And you've, over the period of time, or throughout the years, you've distinguished yourself as a certain specialist. You have a certain name for yourself. That is, right, this is a general reading, but that is what you are known for. And if it doesn't go through, what these are telling me is to go back to something you really know how to do. You are specialized in. You want to open up an agency, work agency, temp agency, to give work to others. You'd like to be a headhunter, do it, because you know how to make links. You're good with people. You can, you know, put 2 and 2 together, then do it. All right, if one thing doesn't go through. But here, these are successful runes, whatever you may attempt, successful runes. And they're saying that the success is based on your communication, the extent of your communication, the strength of your communication. Well, fire signs. Now I'm going to call the shots. We did fire. We did water. I'm going to do air. And then earth, land, dirt, the rest. All right, now we're going to do the Air signs. Air signs, air signs, air signs. I see people writing under my videos. They're probably saying, we don't see you, we don't see you. I'll post this if I can to the video, to the YouTube channel after I get this done. This is for the end of May, air signs, my air signs. Let's see what's in store here for 29, 30, 31. Let's say we've got decisions. We've got decisions hiding behind decisions, hiding behind fingers, they say in Italy. Don't hide behind the finger. Come out, you know, and make that decision, air signs. You're feeling as if this were a transitory phase. And all of this, you know, the other two readings, the other elements were bringing forth something. We're bringing forth a plan. Here too, there's an egg. There's the world egg here. And you know, but it's a transitory phase, because what I'm getting here for you air signs is that you're aiming for a complete turnaround, a complete change. All right, some of you are talking about vacation time, and this is a vacation time. You're planning and you're going. Okay? You're planning vacation. But what I'm seeing here, there's movement, there's things are moving for the air signs. And you're literally changing place. I would say, you know, long distance. If you live in New York, thinking of going to move to California, I mean, long distance. If you live in Europe, thinking to live in New York, you know, going to move to New York, there's shifting. There's the shifting of, there's displacement as well. And I see masses here. I see masses, and the decisions here involved whether to or not. If I do, who comes with me? You know, and this seems pretty clear. And if you're in a position of direction, decision, management, what I'm seeing here is that a lot of people come to you for help. You're in a position where you have to literally help people who are disadvantaged, and to find their way, to get a job, to find home, low-income housing, try to find a different city to live in, populate an area of the world that needs people to build up and develop the area. You know, it seems that you're in a position of power in this sense. And that on the one hand, but on the other hand, there are the air signs that are in the position of the actual moving, of not wanting to make the decision to go. I cannot leave my family behind. I cannot, what can I do? You know, and this is the process that's going on in your head. And however, what I have to say is that the movement does bring a new beginning. The movement, it is in the movement that makes it possible for you to start again, anew, a clean slate, completely different person, as if you were born again. This is a strong message. Air signs, very strong, very strong. Very strong message. Very strong message. And fear really does a job on us. You know, fear can stop you in your tracks, make you sleep for days on end. Air signs. There's a new beginning again. You know, I'm seeing that. The Fool. Il matto, the Fool here, right in the focus card. It's a new beginning for those in a period, in a phase of direction, in a position of direction and power, and those who are being displaced or traveling or changing residences. There's a new beginning here. Now, I also see the end, in these 3 days will mark the end of a difficult decision, a difficult choice that had to be made because of economic reasons. To improve your status, and to go somewhere else. Change. This is not working for me. I need to go. And I see there is movement. I mean, these cards are very clear. Agwe, Rada, Six of Swords. You know, this Fool. There's is something moving. Again, it runs the gamut from being displaced to being in a position of direction and power to help, you know, usher in people and assist, you know, put them in different areas so that they may have proper living quarters. I'm going to take the Sibila here on some of these cards. I'm going to start with this Ten of Wands, this burden that has come to an end. Okay. Yeah, the end is that end. It is the death, the morte, lettera and gran signore. The burden is related to two different things. I'm taking it from two different angles. The burden, the end of the burden is related to a period that has ended where you were just in a complete, devastated, depressed state. Because of the stepped up communication with people around you, you're emotionally motivated to become the person that you are, Gran Signore. Now, another angle that I can take this from is that you've had a difficult relationship, first of all, with yourself. And that's why you were in, say, let's hiding. You were in hiding from loved ones, a significant other. And recently, if not today, yesterday, or the day before, there has been communication that has put an end to that period of, you know, exile, I could call it. And you're starting to feel that it's possible again to be a lover. It's possible to love that person again. Very interesting this is. And it has to do, within the context of this spread, with something that is very clear in your mind, that there is a movement to take place. There's sooner or later, you're going to have to make a move. Okay, I'm going to, there's the Seven of Wands here. That's always a battle. I'm going to see what that's like. What is that about? Yeah, that's about, you know, here's the movement. Viaggios, the vacation trip, viaggio. Sacerdote, you on your own. And this time, this has come out before for the other elements. Superbia, where it was vanity and the ego. Here it's different. Here is you coming to terms with the idea that I'm alone. Priest, I'm alone. I don't want to be alone anymore. If I'm in a relationship and I'm partnered, if you are air signs and you feel alone, now is the time to change. And this is going to be successful. The change in movement, because you'll have to move, even if it's just out of the house, will be successful for you. All right, I'm going now to take this. There's an Eight of Pentacles here. It always makes me think of Waltzing Matilda, this card. Giovane Fanciulla, the maiden, the virgin of the deck. Stanza, room, communication typically, lonely communication of late, and casa, the house. Now, of course, in this spread, it's talking about a new residence. These mirror each other. And a residence where you can create a home in intimacy with someone. Because what you're looking for is not to go back to a house any longer. And those of you who don't have one, you're looking for a house that you can call your own. Okay, so this is a new residence. I'm going to take the Sibilla on this fear of taking the decision. The four, well, just, you know, the fourth wanted to come out. Consolante sorpresa, surprise, falsità. These are lies, generally, malinconia, this looking back, and denaro is safe. Now, over the difficulty in making the decision is that You know that the surprise ultimately will be an economic surprise. They mirror each other. But what is it? What's the difficulty? You know that you're in a, I use that word depressed state, but it's sadness. Very, very sad. And you're afraid of making the wrong move. And you're caught between these two ideas. Move for the money and fear for fear of failure. Let me take the runes. Okay. Air signs. Air signs. The runes are really talking about a difficult decision to make. They really are. But they're also, Yera are talking about giving yourself time. Giving yourself time to think long and hard about the decision and look at it from different angles and speak to other people about it. Because you deep down inside know that it's a positive move. And you know that your new home, your new area, where you're going, that new plan, that new project, where you're going to, is definitely going to be positive for you. And it is, and there's Iwats that is telling you, you are protected in this. You should really consider. But what is fearful for you, and it's right over the 6th Santeria card, is that you don't see, you are not in a position of fully calculating the risk involved. But Kinat's Merkstave is on the line with Therisas is telling you, regardless, it is fundamental that you do take this step. And off the charts, okay, off to the side, we have Urus Merkstave and Urus Brightstave. And Urus is inviting you to take that very difficult decision and go through, journey down on through that passage, because it's a passage. It's a necessary movement. It's a necessary step to a progression. Okay, I hope that was of help. Air signs. Now let's pull up these things and do our last earth signs. Earth signs. Whoops. Earth signs, earth signs, earth signs. You're thinking, she's left me for last. She's left me for last. Why did she leave me last? But the last will inherit the world, they say. Another corner kick, like I just left Virgo for last in my monthlies. It was just haphazard, it wasn't really. Because I just, let me do this, let me do that, let me do that. I started in the beginning and then the end, and then drew myself closer to the middle, like the Leo and the Cancer, but then I just started doing it haphazardly. Now, this is for my earth signs. Let's see what the end of the month, May, is bringing to you. Let's see what it's bringing to you. Let's see what it's bringing to you. Earth signs. You are really on a mission, earth signs, but you're not completely out of your mind. What you want is relaxation. You want to clearly weigh your options. You want to enjoy yourself, go into that swimming pool, take a dip into the ocean. You want to look at life through a moment of relaxation and calm. Sure, I have a job. I have to do these things, but let me take one step after the other and just relax and enjoy myself as I do my work. And this is the atmosphere, the attitude that you have. And at one time, even if you cannot take it anymore, even if you're full of work up to your ears, you think, all right, I'll just go down, push on the automatic, chop my head off and do the job. Then I'll bring it back on and I'll think. Right? So you're on a mission. And many of you, to many of you, this will translate as a out-of-body experience where you're able to assess yourself. You're seeing things from a different perspective completely, and see things from afar, and see things from a different vantage point. But like I said, you're on a mission. You're ready to go. You are. You have your sights set on something. And with a fiery passion, earth signs, you are perhaps even more fiery than you have been since the beginning of the year. You're going to walk step by step, almost trotting, to your goal. And your goal is to take life easily and make and surround yourself with your pleasures. It's nice. This is nice. It's really nice. You know, it's a nice message to end with, actually. Let me see what the initiatory tarot add to this. Let's see. Let's see, earth signs, what the initiatory tarot can add to this message. Yeah, you definitely are on a mission. And it's as if you are moving but standing still. You have a plan to go someplace which is more, comes out to translates into you elevating your status. Okay, that is your mission. You want to elevate your status. For example, you want to improve your education. You have a mission. You have a job. You have an objective in mind. You want to reach that amount of earnings. You want to help those amount of people. You know, and so you have that in sight, and you have it fixed in your mind, and you're going there. And I said before, one step at a time. There are, in truth, moments when on your path that you see that this is going too slow. You know, things are going too slow. Let me hurry them up. Let me ruffle the feathers and just throw something out and see if that changes my luck or changes the way things develop. Okay, and that's interesting. But then there's this 10 of Swords here that I saw in the other spread. That is the end of a really tough time for you. And almost it's bringing you to this 8 of Cups where you probably want to just forget it. I've had it. I'm changing jobs. Just too much work. I've done enough. And no matter what I do, I don't make enough. No matter what I do, I can't make ends meet. And so these are things that are just going in and out of your head, in and out of your head. But there's this Page of Wands, the Page of Wands, and that comes into feeling. It's a focus card. It's a focus card to help you energize your passions, because you can have the tendency to just give up. Give me that cigar. I'm going to sit down, you know, and just walk away. You have that. There is this walk away fear, you know, that you should guard against. You know, throwing everything to the wind. You know, instead you should throw caution to the wind and push forward, because what you're doing, you're becoming more impatient. You rather seem, like I said, you seem to be a fire sign instead of an earth sign these last couple of days because of the passion. I mean, there are really moments in your day these days where you become so irate, you can probably scream to the heavens and shout to yourself, right? And I can see it in the cards, you know. Let me take these last two cards, the 10 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. Well, they're telling me that you're going to come into a little bit of luck. This is the Donna di Servizio. This is always an 8, always a positive card. Belvedere in the long run, and Mercante in your activity. You're going to come in with a little bit of luck, just when you think that I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I don't know if that's the right expression, but I've had it. Well, that's throwing in the sponge, okay? In Italian, we throw in the towel, is it? You know, or maybe I made that mistake. But what I'm saying is, you know, you just wait, you know, hold on, because it's not as bad as you think. Going to the attitude that you have in these 3 days, this wanting to relax, but under the surface you have this fiery passion. And here again, this is harmony and Giovanni Fanciullo, the beginning. It's always almost as if you are motivated from a position, from a perspective of going into a job, going into an endeavor, investing your time with the notion that you can do so without ruining your life. You're aiming towards harmony. But there is, this is the superbia, there is an underlying personal motive because you want to elevate your status, or you want that other person to see me for what I can do, or you want to surround yourself with your activity. It's an ego. It's as if you need, we're humans, we have egos. You need the ego. You need to buttress your ego in this period of time. All right, I'm going to take the runes here to see what they can add. All right. Let's see. Talk, talk, talk. That is what's going to help you. It's a moment. All right, look. The last 3 days of the month, May, is a moment where the relationship, romantic endeavors and emotions are shifted. They're not important, or they are, but there's nothing going on, okay? That is off to the side. And the beginning of that new relation, the beginning of something emotionally packed is put off to another day, right? What I'm seeing here is that your abundance and the way the development of your projects go is truly based on the way you communicate. And the better you communicate, the better your success, the greater your success, literally economic success. And the runes are telling you it's going to take time. Keep on trucking, it's saying. Keep on trucking in that direction. Communicate. Smooth out your communication. Take your time to do things and keep on trucking. The really a big highlight here is on the communication, and your abundance will flow from the way you interact with people. Earth signs, fire signs, water signs, air signs. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. I'll post this up. I hope something comes of it or you see it, and then I'll get help for the next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me.